What is up, everyone? Got Mochi and Lucifer over here, getting into it. What you guys doing? What are you guys up to? They froze as soon as I put them on camera. Okay, so this one is called. We got another post from the Neville sub today, and it is called "Changing States versus Attracting." I noticed a lot of confusion among fellow Redditors when it comes to trying to understand Neville's teachings through the attraction mindset. I feel that explaining the difference between changing states and attracting is something very important. 1. Ontology. Concept of the nature of being. Neville's ontology breaks out from traditional constraints of three-dimensional understanding. What you experience physically is indeed a 3D reality. However, each of the physical instances in it, be it events, object, people, etc., is an expression of a state, as according to Neville's consciousness, is the only reality. And in quotes, a state is an attitude of mind, a state of experience with a body of beliefs which you live by. 2. States expressed. Depending on your state of consciousness, a physical instance in your experience will express itself in line with your current assumptions, mixed with the echoes of whatever you have accepted as true, past states and beliefs. That's why I have that ebook that's free in the description about how to uncover your beliefs, how to change your belief systems. Anyways, this might give you an answer to why things happen, even though you didn't want them. Like a loud neighbor or a bad cold. You accept a state and let it into your experience by reacting to it, and 99% of the time you do it unawarely, like something you see on TV, talking with a person, etc. Interesting that they talk about a bad cold, a loud neighbor, and a bad cold. We got our neighbors evicted. There's a video that we have about that success story of getting our neighbors evicted. I mean, they were just crazy. It was like loud noises in the middle of the night, constantly. It's a one-bedroom apartment upstairs, and they had like multiple generations of family members living there. Different story. But again, with the cold thing, it's really funny because my partner will she's almost like a little bit, I guess you could say, envious of the fact that I'll get a cold or I'll start to feel a cold coming on, and literally like I kick it in like a day or like 2 days at the most. It's almost like I forget, and then I the next day I'm like forgot that I even got sick. And yeah, I'm healthy. What are you guys doing? Cats are at it again. Obviously I'm healthy and I take care of my health in the 3D. Like I take care of myself, and I try to eat good nutritious foods. I take supplements. I work out. I, do all the things to address my physical state of health, but I also believe that I have an insanely powerful immune system, that I kick a cold within a day or two. Like I don't ever get sick. At a certain point several years ago, I just kind of started thinking that way, and it kind of started happening that way, that I would just I'd get sick once a year. Like I used to get sick more often, then it would only be once a year. And lately it's just been like, if I feel a cold coming on, I'll take a little bit of medicine, and it's literally gone within the next day or the day after that. Like I'm completely alleviated from all symptoms. So interesting point right there. So once something pops up in your experience, you keep reacting to it further, and this reaction warrants your assumption. For example, that someone is rude or someone is loving, or that pair of jeans is too tight or fits perfectly. 3. Changing awareness. Everything as an expression of your state of consciousness is available to you in any possible state. All you have to do is change your awareness of it, meaning to assume a state of which your desired outcome is a natural expression. This is where Neville's techniques prove invaluable, as they allow you to experience in your imagination the reality of your desired state. So in quotes, a change of fortune is a new direction and outlook, merely a change in arrangement of the same mind substance, consciousness. So I like this point. I'm trying to give you guys a nugget that you can take with this, because Yes, all you have to do is change your awareness of it. Assume a state in which your desired outcome is a natural expression. I mean, I have a video about steal these self-concepts if you want to win. And one of the, a self-concept that comes to mind, this isn't even necessarily one of the 7 that I had in that video, but like, things just work out for me. Things just work well for me. If you have that belief about your reality, about yourself in relationship to your reality, and things are fun and easygoing, I'm going to use the analogy of tennis again to describe this again. Practicing an active detachment. When you're holding on too tight in a tennis match, you end up physically gripping the racket too tight, which messes up your game. And the reason I'm using it is because it's a tangible physical example. When I hold on too tight to wanting my music to be successful, as I've talked about in the interview with Melissa, it creates inner tension. It creates inner blocks. It prevents me from taking action. It also prevents me from being receptive to the ideas that are going to work. And I'm sitting here thinking, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I don't know how to do this. There's no way it's going to work. That tends to be the negative thoughts that creep in when you're doing something that's challenging, when you're doing something that you have evidence in the past from that have shown you that, oh, this didn't work, this is hard to do. Your beliefs also back that notion up that, like becoming successful with music is something super hard, it's pie in the sky, it's a pipe dream, all these different types of things that have taken root in the garden of your mind. And they're weeds that they exist. And even though you can keep digging them out. And yeah, they might be limiting beliefs that you can really go in at the root of and uncover the root limiting belief and get rid of it. But still, even with that being said, you're constantly bombarded with, and if it's done over time, if you have so much evidence in your life of that, it can be tricky. So what I want to express to you guys with this example of the tennis match is that you're playing tennis and you start needing to win. You need that ball to go in, and so you're gripping on too tightly. And what happens is that the ball then goes out. You don't hit the shot in. But when you're having fun, when you bring the fun back into it, you're playing for fun, but you want to do well, but you don't need it. You want it, but you don't need it. I can do that with my music. You can do that with whatever goal that it is. We can insert any goal into that with your business, with your relationship. You want it, but you don't need it. And you're doing it. You're enjoying the process. And when we bring that fun into it again, then it becomes natural. Then it does embody that feeling of naturalness. Because what is natural? What is natural? What feels good? When you're good at something, when you're having fun doing something. And those things kind of go hand in hand. So you practice the process of it, you're getting better, you're improving, you're nurturing this. It's kind of like you're working on a painting, it's coming together, it's a masterpiece. You're envisioning that it's going to be a masterpiece. You're envisioning that tennis stroke is going to be just sail over the net right at the end by the baseline, right in the corner, and be a beautiful winning shot. But you don't need it that bad, because when you start needing it and gripping on and you're too attached to it like this, that's when you run into problems. So change your awareness of it. Assume a state in which your desired outcome is a natural expression. In the case of tennis, I'm a great athlete. I'm always getting better. My game is fluid. My technique is fluid. I hit the ball with grace and effortlessness in my stroke, in my forehand, my backhand, my serve, whatever it is that you are doing at the moment, and reinforce that belief. Watch a video on tennis technique. For me, like with my music, get some ideas for how to promote your music on social media. Do a little bit of research, but don't get bogged down in the research. Apply it immediately. Go and make a video then. Go and start posting stuff. Start putting stuff out there, because you can't refine it until you start posting, start putting stuff out there, and then take a look at it once you've done that, and then refine from there. Otherwise, you're gonna stop yourself with analysis paralysis. And again, this can be applied to anything. It can be applied to relationships. Go out there and start talking to people. Putting yourself out there is a blanket kind of concept that can apply to anything. It can apply to you also working on your business, putting your ideas out there, getting a proof of concept for your business, getting a proof of concept for the videos that I want to put out in relation to my music or my YouTube. It all can be achieved by what I'm saying here. So we've got number 4, attraction versus assumption. Now, to understand how attraction ties in with this concept and to wipe away the confusion, it's not states that attract each other. It's the natural expression of one state that multiply and magnify themselves. Here's where Neville's concept gives you the freedom. You're free to abandon the state of which expressions you don't like and assume a state that would express what you want. So, with the famous example, you want riches. When you want riches but feel poor, your awareness tells you you're poor. You'll express poverty and whatever it includes. You can't attract riches with this mindset. You'll need to feel yourself rich first. When you feel rich, this state will express itself accordingly, and you'll experience how its expressions multiply. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. When you feel yourself, and you're talking about the example of fame, you feel yourself as this compelling, magnetic person that's worthy of attention, that's worthy of being well known. You feel yourself as this charismatic and expressive person. That's going to come through in your content. Now we're in the age of social media. We're in social media age, and if you want to be famous, social media is the fastest route to get there. A lot of artists, a lot of musicians, even actors nowadays are having success by posting on social media. I just saw a video about Post Malone. He literally posted that White Iverson video on YouTube, and I don't know how that happened, but apparently, yeah, there was other things going on. He knew some people in the gaming community that I guess reposted it and whatnot, what have you. But I guess he woke up and Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller and all these people had been commenting on it. And that is true. So many people nowadays are getting their start online. And if you feel that you are worthy of being well known, of being famous, that idea, that awareness of being well known, that you are worthy of being well known, that you have something to offer, that you are an amazing, talented person, and that you are compelling to watch, and that you're good at making content, that your ideas are good, and that the content is lit and viral, potentially viral, then it's going to come through. But if you feel like you're bogged down with the process, and I don't feel like posting content, as so many of us do, talking to other artists and creative people right now, so many musicians hate making content, myself included to a degree. You know, you want to make the music, and you have so much resistance to making the content that's going to allow your music to be heard and to be seen, get some eyeballs on what you're doing. You got to go back into that state where you're having fun. And again, using tennis as another example. Well, you might be, I'm struggling. I'm in a bad mood because my opponent's beating me. I can't get my backhand right. My two-handed backhand is inconsistent right now. Again, it comes back to having fun with it. Play against somebody that you have fun playing against. And look up some videos on technique. When you're going out, when you're meeting people, you got to have fun with it. You're going on dates. You got to be having a good time. You can't be looking at this situation like, it's such a drudgery and, I'm not enjoying any of it. Like, taking the fun out of it, sucking the fun out of it sucks the life out of it, and the other people, whether it's a dating situation, whether you're posting content online, whether you're trying to, work on your business, the people on the other end are going to feel it, and it's not a natural expression then, because you're not having a good time. Everybody, what is the common denominator of, life in itself is a generative thing. Life is created in this universe, on this planet, to be self-expressive. I would argue that is the fundamental thing. Yes, we're here to procreate and to continue and to have our lineage continue, but we're also here to create. We're here as a species to create, to generate something. And that comes with the enjoyment of it. That comes with the feeling it, with the process orientation, with the solution oriented approach, not this fighting and feeling down and feeling like you're doing an uphill battle. You got to enjoy the process. So here we go. So this is the last part of this. When you feel rejected, you'll keep experiencing/expressing rejection in a department that put you in this state. And later, still entertaining it, you'll start noticing rejection in other departments. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. If you are dwelling in the state of being rejected, which I tend to do with my music, and I'm just being honest with you guys, being real with you guys, we're all human. We all get into these states, and certain things might trigger us to get back into that feeling of rejection, that tightness in your chest, that pit in your stomach. And it could be with the opposite sex, or it could be with making money. It could be with any area. Just let go. Practice that active detachment. In the tennis match, practice that active detachment. I don't need this. I don't need it. I don't need a partner. I don't need this business to work. I know it's tough because maybe you do need it to work. It's a conundrum. It's a paradox of life. The less that you need it, and I got this, a friend of mine gave me this as dating advice a long time ago when I was in college, and just about needing it too much. Don't stop needing it so much. And it didn't make sense to me at the time. And it's kind of annoying to get this advice when it is something that you really do want, say a relationship. Maybe you haven't had a good relationship. Maybe you're, getting older and older and more times passing, and you want to start a family. I know it sucks. Maybe you're in a position where you really need that money. You really need this business to work. I know that it is paradoxical, but you get into this state where you're enjoying it and you don't need it, but you're going towards it. You're moving towards the goal, but you're not holding on like this and suffocating and strangling the goal. It seems to work much better. And I go back to this example again, and that's why I'm using this example of tennis, is because you can see it visibly. And those players, even the good ones, when you're watching, they're gripping onto this racket too tight. They're getting emotional. They're needing it to work. And that's when it stops working. And if you watch the best tennis players, it's a mental game. They could be down, they could be losing, but all they're focused on is what they need to do. They're not getting in their head looking at the other opponent. They're not getting in their head comparing themselves to everybody else. It's hard to do. I know I keep saying that because I am empathetic to how hard it can be. And I do the same thing. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. Despite what people might tell you or what they say online, nobody is perfect. We all have moments where we do this, but bringing your attention back onto what you like, what's personal to you, what resonates with you, and that might be creatively, or that might be your approach to any of these topics that we're discussing here, allows you to get out of that state where you're feeling rejected, or you're comparing, or you are in these negative states that are not helping you. and that needing state. And so that's allowing you, because you can't, by focusing on like not doing that, you're not going to be able to not focus on that by trying to not focus on that. You have to just you have to shift your attention to what it is that you're doing. And last paragraph here. So we covered this. If you want to be wanted, okay, so here we go. So if you're still entertaining that state of rejection, he says, you'll start noticing rejection in other departments. Exactly right. Personal life, work, getting credit card declined, etc. If you want to be wanted, you need to assume a state of being wanted and accepted. That might be the most powerful line in this whole thing, because yes, the state, what is it that is common through any of these things that we talk about, any of these life major goals, relationship, success, money, being wanted and being accepted. If you can adopt that state, I'm always wanted, I'm always accepted, that's going to carry into whatever department of life, like he says here. States can be very specific too. Even on the tennis court, you're wanted, you're a wanted player. People want to play against you. Well, you must be fun to play against. You must be pretty good then. You can be in a state of your coworker being a douche. As long as your awareness confirms that your coworker is a douche, you cannot attract them being nice. You need to switch to a state of your coworker is nice in order to see the state expressed. Neville teaches the law of assumption, not the law of attraction. However, the acronym LOA is the same. You assume a state and see it express itself. Anyways, guys, I think it's a great post, and I hope that I have added onto it by my little footnotes and me going in with my examples here to really just hit home on this topic, on this idea. And I guess I don't really have much more to add to this, but let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the post, on this video down below. And much love as always. Hit me with a like, hit me with a subscribe if you've not done so already. And if you found this video helpful, like I said, drop me a comment down below. And let me know what resonated for you. And with that being said, guys, much love. I will see you guys in the next video.